For many Americans over 60, chronic back pain has quietly become part of everyday life, even though it shouldn't be. It often starts subtly: stiffness when getting out of bed, discomfort when bending to tie shoes, a dull ache after standing in the kitchen too long. Over time, these small issues grow into constant pain that shapes how people move, plan their day, and even think about their future. Many seniors wake up already bracing themselves for discomfort, knowing their back will dictate how much they can do. Simple activities like lifting a grocery bag, reaching into a low cabinet, or sitting through a family dinner become calculated decisions rather than natural movements. In communities across the U.S., this kind of pain is so common that it's often accepted as normal aging, even though it deeply affects quality of life. What makes chronic back pain especially challenging is that it rarely feels dramatic enough to demand urgent care, yet it never fully goes away. Instead, it lingers in the background, draining energy and confidence day after day. Many older adults rely on pain relievers, heating pads, or long periods of rest just to get through daily routines. While these approaches may offer short-term comfort, they often fail to address why the pain keeps returning. Over time, people may move less to avoid discomfort, which ironically makes the problem worse. Less movement leads to more stiffness, weaker muscles, and greater fear of triggering pain. This cycle slowly shrinks a person's world. Social outings are skipped, hobbies are abandoned. Even walking around the neighborhood feels risky. In the U.S., where independence is deeply valued, chronic back pain can feel like a quiet threat to self-reliance. It's not just about physical discomfort. It's about the emotional weight of feeling limited in your own body. Many seniors worry about becoming dependent on others, needing help to stand up, or losing the ability to live comfortably in their own home. Yet, despite how widespread this issue is, few people are told that constant back pain isn't an unavoidable sentence. It's often the result of years of subtle changes in how the body moves, rests, and responds to stress. Understanding how common chronic back pain truly is among adults over 60 helps shift the conversation from resignation to awareness. When people realize they're not alone, and that this pain is a shared experience rather than a personal failure, it opens the door to hope. Recognizing the scope of the problem is the first step toward reclaiming comfort, movement, and confidence in daily life. Many people were told to rest, take medication, or be careful, so movement slowly became something to avoid rather than rely on. What changes that mindset is the growing body of long-term research showing that the right kind of movement, not random exercise, not pushing through pain, can dramatically improve back pain and daily function. Large studies following thousands of older adults over many years have consistently found that people who practiced simple, targeted movements experienced far less pain than those who depended mainly on pills, injections, or extended rest. In some cases, pain levels dropped by more than half, and daily tasks became easier and less intimidating. That kind of improvement doesn't just mean feeling better for a few days. It means regaining the ability to live more freely. What's important to understand is that these results didn't come from intense workouts or complicated routines. They came from exercises designed specifically for how the aging spine works. As we get older, the back changes in predictable ways. The cushioning between the bones becomes less flexible. Muscles don't respond as quickly, and the body's pain signals become more sensitive. Many popular exercises ignore these changes, which is why they often fail or make things worse for seniors. Targeted movements, on the other hand, respect these realities. They focus on gentle motion, stability, and consistency rather than force. This is why they outperform medication alone. Pain relievers can dull discomfort temporarily, but they don't improve how the body moves or supports itself. Once the medication wears off, the pain usually returns. Rest may feel helpful at first, but too much of it allows stiffness and weakness to build, making the back more fragile over time. Targeted exercises work differently. They help the back relearn how to move safely, distribute effort evenly, and handle everyday demands like standing, walking, or bending. Another key reason these exercises are so effective is that they address confidence as much as comfort. Chronic pain often creates fear of bending, fear of lifting, fear of making things worse. Research shows that when people begin moving in ways that feel safe and controlled, that fear slowly fades. As confidence returns, the body relaxes, movement improves, and pain signals calm down. This creates a positive cycle that medication alone cannot provide. What surprises many seniors is how little time these exercises require. Instead of long physical therapy sessions or daily gym visits, most studies show meaningful improvement with just a few focused movements done regularly. This fits real American lifestyles. People don't need special equipment, expensive memberships, or long travel times. They can move at home, on their own schedule, wearing regular clothes. That practicality is one reason these approaches work so well in the long run. People actually stick with them. Consistency matters more than intensity, especially after 60. The research also highlights something encouraging. Improvement is possible even after years of pain. Participants in these studies weren't all newly injured. Many had lived with back pain for a decade or more. Yet when they followed targeted movement plans, their bodies still responded. This challenges the belief that it's too late to feel better. The spine may age, but it doesn't stop adapting. When given the right signals through movement, it can become more resilient, more comfortable, and more reliable. For older Americans who want relief without relying solely on medication, these findings offer something powerful. Proof. Proof that pain doesn't have to define daily life. Proof that simple movement can outperform passive treatments. And proof that the body is still capable of change. Understanding this research shifts the focus away from coping with pain and toward actively reducing it. That shift alone can be life-changing because it replaces resignation with possibility and gives people a clear, practical path forward. Mornings often begin with slow, careful movements out of bed. A few seconds of standing still to let the spine wake up, and an unspoken hope that today won't be worse than yesterday. This is where the cat-cow movement becomes far more powerful than it appears. At its core, this simple exercise reintroduces gentle, controlled motion to a spine that has spent years becoming guarded, tight, and hesitant. Unlike exercises that focus on strength alone, the cat-cow focuses on restoring natural movement between the segments of the back. Over time, many seniors lose this segment-by-segment motion. Instead of the spine moving smoothly, it begins to act like a stiff board, forcing the hips or shoulders to compensate. That compensation often leads to pain not just in the back, but also in the knees, hips, and neck. The cat-cow addresses this problem directly by encouraging the spine to move through its natural curves in a slow, deliberate way. When you round the back gently and then reverse into a soft arch, each small section of the spine gets a chance to move again. For older adults, this matters because the cushioning structures between the bones tend to dry out and lose flexibility over time. Gentle movement helps draw fluid into these areas, much like slowly squeezing and releasing a sponge in water. This isn't about forcing flexibility. It's about inviting the spine to regain motion it has quietly lost. In everyday American life, this translates to real benefits. People often notice it becomes easier to bend over the bathroom sink, reach down to feed a pet, or turn to look behind them when backing out of the driveway. The movement also affects the muscles that run along the spine, which are often tight from years of sitting, driving, and guarding against pain. These muscles can stay partially contracted all day, limiting blood flow and increasing pressure on sensitive structures. The steady rhythm of the cat-cow helps these muscles remember how to relax again. This alone can reduce that constant background ache many seniors feel even when they're not actively moving. Another reason this exercise fits so well into the lives of older Americans is its flexibility. It doesn't require a gym, special clothing, or perfect conditions. It can be done on a carpet in the living room, on a mat in the bedroom, or even modified to a seated position in a sturdy chair. This matters because consistency is everything. An exercise that feels intimidating or inconvenient rarely becomes a habit. The cat-cow feels approachable. It's gentle enough to do first thing in the morning when the back is stiffest, and calming enough to repeat in the evening to release tension built up during the day. Many people find that doing it before bed helps them sleep more comfortably and wake up with less stiffness. The slow pace is key. Rushing through the movement turns it into just another task. Moving slowly allows the body to sense where stiffness lives and respond to it. For seniors who have lived with pain for years, this sense of awareness is often lost. Pain teaches people to disconnect from their bodies, to move quickly through discomfort, or avoid it altogether. The cat-cow reverses that pattern. It creates a safe space to move without fear. Breathing naturally through the motion adds another layer of benefit. Gentle breathing helps calm the nervous system, which is often on high alert in people with chronic back pain. When the nervous system relaxes, pain signals tend to soften. This combination of movement and calm is one reason many people feel relief even after just a few sessions. Over time, the effects compound. What starts as a simple stretch becomes a daily ritual that keeps the spine from locking up. In American households where mornings are busy and evenings are often spent sitting, this kind of reset becomes invaluable. The exercise also offers reassurance. It reminds people that movement doesn't have to hurt to be helpful. That message alone can change how someone approaches their body. Instead of bracing for pain, they begin to trust movement again. This trust carries into other activities, like walking, gardening, or playing with grandchildren. It reduces fear, which is often as limiting as the pain itself. The cat-cow doesn't promise instant cures or dramatic overnight changes. What it offers is steadiness. Day by day, it keeps the spine moving, nourished, and more adaptable. For people over 60, adaptability is everything. A spine that can move gently through its full range is less likely to react sharply to everyday demands. It's more forgiving when you twist to reach for something or bend unexpectedly. That forgiveness translates into fewer flare-ups and more confidence. In a culture that often celebrates intensity, the value of gentle consistency is easy to overlook. Yet for aging backs, it's exactly what's needed. The cat-cow honors the reality of an older spine while still challenging it in the right way. It meets people where they are, respects their limits, and slowly expands what feels possible. For many older Americans, that shift from limitation to possibility is the beginning of lasting relief and a more comfortable relationship with their own body. Many Americans notice that their back doesn't necessarily hurt all the time, but it feels unreliable. A sudden twist while reaching for something, standing on one foot to put on a shoe, or carrying groceries on one side can trigger pain out of nowhere. This sense of unpredictability is deeply unsettling, and it often leads people to move less out of fear. That's where the bird dog exercise becomes so important. Unlike movements that focus on stretching or building big muscles, the bird dog trains the body to stay steady during everyday actions. It teaches the spine how to remain supported while the arms and legs move, which is exactly what daily life demands. When an older adult reaches into a cabinet, steps off a curb, or turns to look behind them, the spine must stay stable while the rest of the body shifts. Over time, the small muscles responsible for this stability tend to weaken, especially in people who have dealt with long-term back pain. When those muscles stop doing their job, larger muscles take over, tightening up and pulling on the spine in unhealthy ways. This creates a cycle of tension and discomfort that medication alone can't fix. The bird dog gently breaks that cycle by waking up the stabilizing muscles and teaching them to work together again. Starting on hands and knees feels safe for many seniors because it removes the fear of falling. From this supported position, extending one arm and the opposite leg challenges balance just enough to create change without overwhelming the body. The key is control. Moving slowly and holding the position allows the body to learn how to stay steady instead of rushing through the motion. For older Americans, this kind of controlled challenge is far more effective than aggressive workouts that leave them sore or discouraged. What makes the bird dog especially valuable is how directly it connects to real life. It doesn't train the body in isolation. It trains coordination. Over time, people often notice they feel more secure standing on one leg, more confident carrying uneven loads, and less likely to experience sudden back twinges during normal activities. This increased confidence can be life-changing. Fear of pain often limits activity more than pain itself. When someone trusts their back again, they naturally begin to move more, which further improves strength and circulation. The bird dog also supports posture, something many older adults struggle with after years of sitting, driving, and looking down at screens. Holding the body in a long, balanced line encourages awareness of alignment without forcing rigid positions. This awareness carries into standing and walking, helping reduce the slouched posture that often contributes to back discomfort. Another important benefit is how this exercise calms the nervous system. Chronic back pain isn't only about the spine, it's also about how the brain interprets movement. When pain has been present for years, the nervous system can become overly protective, sending warning signals even during safe motions. The bird dog helps retrain this response. By practicing controlled movement without pain, the brain learns that not every shift is a threat. This gradual retraining can reduce sensitivity and make everyday movement feel less stressful. In American households where independence is closely tied to self-worth, regaining this sense of control matters deeply. The bird dog fits easily into daily routines. It doesn't require equipment, a gym membership, or a large time commitment. A few minutes once a day is enough to create meaningful change when done consistently. For those who feel unsure at first, starting with just an arm or just a leg builds confidence without risk. Progressing slowly honors the body's pace, which is essential after 60. The goal isn't to push harder, it's to move smarter. Over weeks and months, the bird dog quietly builds a stronger foundation beneath every movement. It helps the spine feel supported instead of fragile, responsive instead of stiff. For many older Americans, this shift restores more than physical comfort. It restores trust in their body, which opens the door to a more active, confident, and independent life. Walking is familiar, accessible, and already part of daily life for millions of people, which makes it far more sustainable than complicated routines that are abandoned after a few weeks. The key shift is not just walking more, but walking with intention and consistency. When you walk regularly, your spine experiences a gentle rhythm that encourages movement without strain. Each step creates a natural pattern of loading and releasing that helps keep the back flexible and nourished. Over time, this steady motion supports the cushioning structures in the spine and helps reduce stiffness that builds up from sitting too long. From my perspective, the biggest mistake I see older adults make is waiting until they feel better to start moving. In reality, walking is often what helps you feel better in the first place. The goal isn't speed or distance at first, it's showing up daily. Even a 15 to 20-minute walk around your neighborhood, a local park, or a mall can begin to change how your back feels within a few weeks. If 20 minutes feels like too much, start with 10 and build slowly. Adding just a few minutes each week is enough to create progress without flare-ups. Shoes matter more than people realize. Wearing supportive, cushioned walking shoes can reduce the impact that travels up through your legs and into your spine. If you have access to softer surfaces like grass, dirt paths, or a track, those can be easier on your back than hard concrete. Pay attention to posture while walking, not by forcing yourself upright, but by letting your arms swing naturally and your stride feel relaxed. Tension in the shoulders often shows up as back pain later, so keeping your upper body loose makes a real difference. One of the most powerful benefits of walking is how it affects the mind. Chronic back pain often comes with frustration, worry, and even low mood. Walking helps break that cycle. Fresh air, sunlight, and gentle movement calm the nervous system and help the brain turn down pain signals. Many people notice they feel lighter mentally after a walk, even if the pain isn't completely gone yet. That mental shift builds momentum. You're more likely to keep moving when walking feels like relief instead of a chore. If possible, walking with a friend or family member adds accountability and makes the habit easier to stick with. Even phone calls during a walk can turn it into something you look forward to rather than something you check off a list. My personal advice is to think of walking as your daily reset, not your workout. Pair it with the cat-cow stretch in the morning to loosen up and the bird dog once a day to build stability. Then let walking tie everything together. Consistency matters more than perfection. Missing a day isn't failure. Quitting altogether is. Trust that your body responds to regular, gentle movement. Over time, walking helps your back feel less fragile and more dependable. It supports circulation, eases stiffness, improves mood, and reinforces the idea that movement is safe again. Start today, keep it simple, and let walking become the habit that quietly supports your back, your confidence, and your independence for years to come.